Behind all the exciting news of roller coaster openings and new projects on the way, we have more sad, or maybe great news story happening over at Six Flags New England. Goliath, the giant inverted boomerang roller coaster, has officially bit the dust, being torn down into pieces and scrapped. The roller coaster was removed from the 2021 park map, which prompted many to assume that its demise was right around the corner. Well, once demolition started, there was no denying its fate. The reason why I say it's a sad or good story, depending on your point of view, boils down to two things. Either you are a fan of this attraction, or you are excited to see it go, hopeful of something better to replace it. It was no secret that ever since Goliath received those new trains, the quality of this attraction started to go downhill. The ride can be unbearably rough, guaranteeing a headache for those who ride. While the ride experience itself was something exhilarating and unique, that roughness made this a one-and-done attraction. So, on to the good stuff. Now that this roller coaster is gone, we can start the speculation of what roller coaster could replace it. There is always a possibility that Six Flags could replace Goliath with a flat ride, but, well, come on, that's just lame. I'm here to talk coasters. Personally, I think we have three options, but before we get ahead of ourselves, let's take a look at how much land we have to work with. The current plot of land, using Google Maps, we have approximately 48,000 square feet. I have a max width of 162 feet and a length of about 302 feet. Again, this is just using the plot of land that Goliath was currently sitting on. And of course, this is just an estimate because I don't actually have the exact numbers. If we take a look at the map, we can see that the park could possibly extend this coaster project out over into a couple directions, allowing the use of more land than just what Goliath was previously using. Alright, so the first option is going to be a single rail roller coaster by Rocky Mountain Construction. If this idea was dropped like 3 years ago, I believe more people would be excited of yet another RMC roller coaster to make its way to Six Flags New England. The single rail model is starting to build more traction in the Six Flags chain. We just saw the opening of Jersey Devil Coaster at Six Flags Great Adventure this past year, and Wonder Woman Flight of Courage, a near clone of Jersey Devil coming to Six Flags Magic Mountain, is slated to open later this year. The model is more compact, capable of working with a tight footprint. The price tag of these attractions are on the lower end for roller coasters, making it an appealing option for major theme park chains. Looking over the land, this ride would fit on the current piece of property without having to work some additional magic. Now, looking over the coaster lineup at Six Flags New England, I don't think this is the type of coaster that the park needs. They have a phenomenal RMC with Wicked Cyclone already in their lineup. But again, we have two single-rail roller coasters located at parks that already have a hybrid roller coaster by RMC, which is Six Flags Fiesta Texas and soon-to-be Six Flags Magic Mountain. This may not be the coaster I'm looking for at Six Flags New England, but I think it's a top contender that the park is considering. My second option is a dive coaster by B&M. A couple years ago, I wouldn't even consider this option. Six Flags working with B&M sounds too good to be true, but yet here we are watching Six Flags Fiesta Texas build a dive coaster. These models do take up a larger footprint than the single rail coaster, but they do feature a steep lift hill and could be contorted to fit on the existing piece of land, and maybe possibly extend out over other plots of land and make it work. Depending on how serious Six Flags is with their investments into this property, I think a dive coaster could be a real possibility. It's unlike any other attraction that they have, and dive coasters are a real crowd pleaser. If I had my way, I'd prefer this project over a single rail coaster just to add more variety to the park's lineup. So for my third option, we have a launching roller coaster. And within this option, I'm actually splitting up to two choices. I have two different manufacturers that I think are good possibilities. Out of the three projects I mentioned, this is the one I want to see happen. The one type of roller coaster that is painfully missing from this park's lineup is a good launch roller coaster, or just any kind of launch coaster for that matter. If the park were to go with S&S, who did Maxx Force at Six Flags Great America, it would have a real tough time fitting into the plot of land currently available. But if the park were to remove, say, Flashback, the Vekoma Boomerang sitting right next to the defunct Goliath, then we would have a decent amount of property to make this project happen. Even if we don't get an S&S launch coaster, any kind of launching coaster could work at this park, be it a family or high thrill machine. A multi-launching roller coaster would work better with their available property, meaning this ride could hop over the midway and work with some of the other wooded area located alongside Thunderbolt. The main players in this market is Mock Rides, Intamin Amusement Rides, and Premier Rides. Six Flags Magic Mountain did recently open up West Coast Racers, a multi-launching racing roller coaster by Premier Rides, making them the most likely manufacturer for this project. If this park allows for creativity, then we could see this model make its way to Six Flags New England. Also, let's not forget about Icebreaker. This is a smaller, more compact launching roller coaster at SeaWorld Orlando that could fit on this piece of land. It would fill that need of a launch coaster and add another more family-friendly attraction to the park. So those are my 3 or 4, I guess, projects that I could see coming to Six Flags New England. If I were a betting man, I think that the single rail is most likely because Six Flags isn't shy about building similar attractions at their park. I know that Jersey Devil Coaster is about 4 hours away from Six Flags New England, so it might be considered too close of proximity from one another. Again, that doesn't seem to deter Six Flags as they built a mirrored clone of the Batman inverted coaster, Goliath, at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas, 20 minutes away from Great White at SeaWorld San Antonio. Honestly, with the new Six Flags management, any of these options could be on the table. If I were to rank them, I would say number 1, the single rail coaster, number 2, the Premier Rides custom layout multi-launching roller coaster, number 3, the dive coaster, and number 4, pneumatic launch coaster by S&S. Well, that's going to do it for today's video. What kind of roller coaster do you want to see replace Goliath? Let me know all about it in the comments below. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button and subscribe. That way you continue to get more great content brought to you by Extreme Thrills.